step by step. So look, practice problem 1 from the earlier video. What do I need to do again? That's right, I need to rewrite it. Same thing here, so do what you know. So look, I rewrote it. Wrote tangent is sine over cosine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. What do I see that I can do? I can cross those guys out. Now what does that equal? Well, that's 1 over cosine, which, as we know, is equal to secant. That's what I was trying to find, so I'm done. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to rewrite the stuff. So it'll be sine divided by, what is cosecant? 1 over sine plus cosine divided by 1 over cosine. What happens to this stuff? Well, this is sine x, that's this thing, times the reciprocal of that, sine x over 1, plus this cosine times the reciprocal, which is cosine over 1. What does that stuff equal? Well, sine times sine is what? Sine squared. What is cosine times cosine? Cosine squared. By the identities that we have up here, we know that that stuff is equal to 1, which is what we were trying to find. So I can write QED. Does it matter if I write QED or draw this little square? Nope, they mean the same thing. Alright, we went over these in class, but for those of you that weren't there, let's just quickly go over it. I can't rewrite any of this stuff, but I know that this stuff looks an awful lot like this identity here. In fact, if I rewrote this identity, right, if I rewrote it to look like 1 minus sine squared, I'd find something out. So I'm going to take a sine squared from each side, and it's going to leave me with cosine squared equals 1 minus sine squared. And what that means is that instead of writing 1 minus sine squared up here, 1 minus sine squared equals cosine squared. So I'll write that there instead. And then similarly on this bottom, I can rewrite my identity, take away sine squared, and then what am I left with? I'm left with cosine squared. I took away the same thing. Yeah, if you guys are in class, maybe you would tell me this. So I take away cosine squared from both sides. I'm left with sine squared equals 1 minus cosine squared. That's what I wanted it to equal. It equals 1 minus cosine squared. I know that that's sine squared. So I replace it. And I know that that is the same thing as saying cotangent squared, which is what I was trying to find, so I'm done. This guy over here, we went over it in class again, but we'll go over it one more time. Sine to the fourth minus cosine to the fourth. I automatically have got to be thinking about my difference of squares identity. That's a rule that tells me that I can rewrite this stuff as sine squared theta minus cosine squared theta times sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta. Now this is awkward because this is what I want it to equal in the end, and then it's being multiplied by something. But it's less awkward when I remember that sine squared plus cosine squared, that's one of my identities, right? What identity is it? Yes, Pythagorean. What does it tell me? It tells me it's equal to 1, which tells me, right, 1 times anything is the same thing as itself. So that tells me, well, what was I trying to make it equal? Sine squared minus cosine squared, that's what it equals. So I'm done.